everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Chainlink. Hold the line. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, with Chainlink, for a long time, we have been looking at the Link Ether valuation. And I get a lot of people that ask me, well, why in the hell do you care about the Link Ether valuation? My response is always the same, okay? Ethereum is technically less risky, in my opinion, than Chainlink. Therefore, if you're going to own Chainlink, you are taking on more risk. If you're taking on more risk, you expect a higher return. If you don't get a higher return, again, it begs the question, why do you take on the extra risk? Okay, so when I look at this chart, over the last year, Link has had a pretty bad drop against Ethereum. Okay, now it's unfair to Link to only look at this one period here. Because again, if you zoom out, it's had a pretty good run. From the bottom, over here, let's just not even take it from the wick, but let's just go back to 2017. The valuation of Link against Ethereum is still up a very modest 2,250%. So to say that, it doesn't do anything against Ethereum, in my opinion, it's more recency bias. Now, it has lasted about a year now. And we always speculated, we don't really know what's going to happen with Link once Bitcoin goes in a bull market. Bitcoin's in a bull market, Ethereum does really well too. We do know that when Bitcoin is not going crazy every other day, that Link does have the ability to go on some nice runs. But when I say hold the line, what do I mean? Well, I'm talking about this line. We've been watching this for months now, right? For months we've been eyeing this. Can Link hold the line here? And we had a wick down to this level back in September of 2019 when we fell below the 20-week estimate of the Link Ether valuation. This is where we ultimately had a spring back up. And we've been testing this since mid-July, okay? And now we're in mid-September. So we've been testing this range for 2 months. And there's a very important test coming. It's kind of quiet, but it's coming. What is that test? Well, it's this one. Can the Link Ether valuation get above it? And if it can, my speculation, if it can have weekly closes above it, my speculation is that Link will go on another, hopefully fairly impressive rally. And of course, that assumes that Bitcoin holds the line itself. But that is what we're waiting for. That is what I'm waiting for. I guess I don't really know what you're waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. We need to see if we can get above this level. Now, we're not testing it in the most glamorous way possible. The most glamorous way possible when we came back down here would just be to come back up and have some major test like that back in early August. Instead, we've had to just be patient and wait. And wait, and wait, and wait. When we first came down to these levels, the Link Ether 20-week SMA was all the way up here at 11,912. This is the Link valuation against Ethereum at the 20-week. Now the 20-week is all the way down at 92.45. So rather than the valuation of Link Ether go to the bull market support band, the bull market support band has gone to the Link Ether valuation because it just hasn't done anything for the last several months. Okay, so we're coming close to testing it again. This was a pretty important test back in April. And unfortunately, we did not break it. We had one close above the 20-week. We did not have a close above the 21-week EMA, and then we ultimately just got rejected back down. And when we look at this, we can note that Link Ether's valuation, starting from July of 2018 until September of 2020, so for more than 2 years, the Link Ether valuation was above this bull market support band. We came down to it a couple times, and sometimes we dipped slightly below it, but we normally just got right back on track, and were able to continue moving higher and higher until we broke it. Okay, until we broke it, and then now it has acted as resistance once, and now we're about to see what happens here. Okay, so if you look at this, the valuation of Link against Ethereum seems to be getting sort of squeezed between this lower, where we'd like to hold the line at, this lower valuation around 76.10 against the Link Ether valuation, and the 20-week SMA, the 21-week EMA, the bull market support band, which ranges now from 91.91 to 10,056. Okay, and right now we're at 88.28. So we're gonna see what happens. Okay, I mean, it's only going to be a couple more weeks before we are either breaking it or getting rejected. Okay, breaking through it or getting rejected. Now, my guess, if I were to, dubiously speculate, and we do like to dubiously speculate around here, my guess is that if Bitcoin, if it can ultimately hold the line at the 20-week, but let's assume that it holds the line, but it's not immediately rebounding to crazy new all-time highs. Let's suppose that we have a little bit of distance between the 20-week. Then I could imagine at that point that being a good time for Link to rally. I mean, right now would theoretically be a fine time for Link to rally, considering that Bitcoin's at 47K. The problem is in the short term, Bitcoin has been moving up relatively quickly. If we look at 4-hour candles, you can see that Bitcoin has been moving up relatively quickly over the last day or two. And so because of that, it will sort of limit what Link can do, because again, when Bitcoin moves, it doesn't tend to be the best for Link, okay? And actually right now you can see that Bitcoin is one of the only ones that's moving, and a lot of basically everything else is in the red. Not everything, but a lot of things are red, especially with their Bitcoin valuations. So the thing that Link does have going for it right now is that it's above its own bull market support band, which ranges from 2602 to 2619. And we're currently at 3018. So again, Link is above the bull market support band against the US dollar. Against Bitcoin, it's also above the bull market support band. So we have two things going for it, right? It just isn't above it against Ethereum. And I do think these valuations are probably pretty important to keep an eye on. Can Link break out of this? Because so far it has been unable to do so. Can it actually break out? And I mean, I think we're probably going to have some resolution sooner rather than later. I mean, just if we sort of look at this pattern that it seems like it's ultimately converging to out in January of 2022. But what I'm looking forward to is getting some resolution on, will Link Bitcoin break out here, or is it going to get kicked down? Hopefully, if it does get kicked down, it's only one more time before then breaking out maybe later this year or early next year. And will Link Ether's valuation finally break out here? The ideal market conditions, as always, are for Bitcoin again to be above the 20-week, but not going parabolic, and also not being too close to the 20-week SMA. So again, the current conditions are ideally what we would like to see. And I put out a video on Link a week or two ago, and it was at around $30 or $31, and then within a couple of days, it was at it went up several dollars, like 30 up to like 37 or something like that, I believe. But the thing is when it makes these moves, right? When it makes these moves, we always are dependent on Bitcoin not having a knee-jerk reaction to the downside, because again, that's what causes Link to not do well if Bitcoin moves too quickly. We don't like Bitcoin volatility for Chainlink. So sort of what I'm looking at right now, I do hope we will come out the other side. I know Link has not been one of the best performers recently. Again, there is some recency bias there. I think long-term investors in Link are still very much satisfied with what's been happening over the last several years. But people who probably bought Link up here are probably wondering what's going on. Why can't it continue moving higher? I do think Link will have its day again. Clearly, that day has not been any time recently, because recently, even the move in April and May, I mean, no one's getting out of bed for a $50 Link when a lot of other projects were going up like 20x, 30x, and whatnot in a relatively short period of time. So we have some key tests coming up for Link. Note that, again, Link USD and Link Bitcoin are both above the 20-week SMA. We need to break out this one here, okay? And then with Link Ether, we're coming up on a pretty big test of the 20-week moving average. So make sure you guys are watching those. Let's see if we can break out. And at the very least, for now, let's hold the damn line. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and remember to check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye.